Hey everybody, John here, and today I'm flying solo because I'm at the Outer Banks Distillery located on Roanoke Island in the Outer Banks. And for those of you who don't know, the Outer Banks are a barrier island that's approximately 100 miles long. It runs from the Virginia border south towards South Carolina. And I highly recommend taking a trip down here if you ever do. And if you do, stop on by the Outer Banks Distillery. It's the home of Kill Devil rum. And I'll tell you what, this is a really nice rum, and I think you guys would really enjoy it, coming from a whiskey background. And today I'm very lucky to have with me the distiller and owner of the Outer Banks Distillery, Kelly Bray. And Kelly, thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Kelly, can you tell us how you got into this and why you decided on rum?
Yeah, I love whiskey, but we decided to do rum because we're down here in the Outer Banks, and there's a lot of good connections. Being on the beach is almost enough reason to do it. But the fact that the Blackbeard died down here, and the name Kill Devil has a certain connection with rum. So that's one of the main reasons we did it. But we came from a bartending and brewing background, and decided that rum would be a good fit for the Outer Banks, and started doing that.
Yeah.
The process of making rum starts with sugarcane. So we use molasses, which is the byproduct of making sugar. So, but to make rum, it has to come from a sugarcane product. So we use molasses for the majority of our rums. We will blend that with water, add yeast at the correct temperature, and create a fermentation out of that, which would be called a wash in rum or a mash in whiskey. Right. Over the course of about a week and a half, that will create a alcohol that we will then put into our still. That we will just extract the alcohol, and that final product is what we call rum.
What do you distill it to? What proof?
Well, it would be different to different depending on what we are making. But our silver rum can come off at about 89 to 90% off of our 9-plate rectifying column and our 1,200 liter pot still. But we've got that still to create different types of rum, and the rectifying column allows us to distill in different ways by utilizing the different the 9 different plates. And we would to make our gold rum, we can use that in a different way by bypassing those plates.
It's a beautiful still too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it really is. That comes from Germany, I understand.
That's right. That's right. They make pretty good ones. So but yeah, so we make a lot of different rums here. Our main ones are a silver rum, a pecan honey rum, a spiced rum, and then we make our aged rums after that. Our gold rum being our flagship aged rum.
Right, which is what I have here today. As you can see, it's got a really nice color to it, And there's no additives or any coloration to any.
That's correct.
Of your rums,
that's just barrel color.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. That is great, and it's a really great flavor. You pick up the banana and some citrus fruit on there also as well.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
So the name Kill Devil.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
famous name here in the Outer Banks.
Absolutely, and growing up down here, I'd always heard it came from rum, which was just that I don't really know where I heard that or where that came from, but after starting making rum, we've read a few history books on the history of rum, and in more than one of those books, the first chapter is called Kill Devil, because in Barbados it was an early name for rum when rum was being invented alongside the sugarcane trade. Right. The byproduct of making sugarcane was molasses, and they quickly found out that could be distilled into a new liquor that didn't have a name yet. Rum, rum bouillon, and Kill Devil were early names for it. Right. And the local legend is that barrels of that washed up upon our shores during shipwrecks. And
which the Outer Banks is known for.
Yes,
because
there's
probably up to 5,000 known shipwrecks since they've been keeping record of it since the late 1500s. Correct?
That's correct.
Right? Yeah. So that would wash up.
And these are just the ones that they have records of. So when that would happen, the locals would hide those barrels in some of the sand dunes, and one of the larger sand dunes became known as Big Kill Devil Hill, which eventually the town became named after that, and that is the location where the Wright brothers flew years later. Right. So a lot of interesting history down here.
Lots of history, sure.
A lot of good reasons to make
my favorite story was the Blackbeard one, that his shipwreck. He hid his barrels of rum in those sand dunes. And they said that rum was so strong that it would kill the devil.
that's right.
Which all ties into the same thing. So they're probably all true stories.
Yep.
You know, to some degree, anyway.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great stories around Rome.
Yeah, great stuff. So now you also do besides these, you do a shipwreck series.
That's correct. Yep.
And that pays homage to the various different shipwrecks. You can go on forever with those.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's lots of great stories around them. Some really famous ones down here. But it gives us a chance to, with those, we will. It's an aged rum, but we will add something different to it by using a different type of sugar in our fermentation process.
Right.
And then using different types of barrels in the aging process.
Okay.
Like not just use bourbon barrels, but tequila barrels, wine barrels, mezcal barrels. We've tried just about everything we can get our hands on.
Really interesting. Now this one is a whiskey barrel.
That's right.
Correct?
Yeah.
From Bowman Brothers?
That's right. Our gold
Virginia.
rum we keep relatively consistent with that. So that and they're a local, not local, but a regional distillery that they're under the Buffalo Trace umbrella. And we've developed a great relationship with them where we can get their barrels right after they're emptied and they're nice and fresh.
You can pick up a little bit of that on the nose. I do pick up a little bit of the bourbon barrel. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely lends itself to some very good rum. We've really been happy working with them.
This is a really good rum, by the way. Yeah, if you see this anywhere, I would suggest you buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's your tie-in to Kill Devil, and of course the town is named Kill Devil Hills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not here, but adjacent.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And the other towns have lots of great names like Nag's Head, which is maybe
so
how
much,
the ship got wrecked in the first place.
There's so much stories behind it. They would bring a horse up and down the beach with a lantern on it, and that would signal to some of the ships out there that was a safe harbor for them to come into, and they would wreck on the shoals or the sandbars or run aground.
That's correct.
And that's where they would pirate all the goods from those particular ships.
Yep.
So we could talk for at least an hour on the history of the Outer Banks. It's a really interesting place. But yeah, this is really great. You've got some great expressions here, and you also have an artifact here that I originally thought was a railroad tie.
That's right.
Because it looks like it's about the same size as a railroad tie, but it's really not. Can you tell us about that?
This is a beam from a shipwreck in Kerala that dates from one of the very old ones because of the construction of mortise and tendon. So it's got like these wooden pegs, which really dates it to one of the early shipwrecks. And they're not really sure the exact date, but it's definitely one of the oldest.
They think it's somewhere maybe around 1600s?
Late 1500s, early 1600s, perhaps.
Right. And there's a sister one somewhere else, I understand. From that. I think it's up in the Maritime Museum, they said?
Yes. Yes, there are other artifacts have been are up in that that museum as well.
You can tell I love the history from the area. I research it by coming down here often. That's what I do.
There's always more to learn down here.
There is. So let's wrap this up by saying, hey, if you guys are in the area, stop down, come see Kelly, and visit the Outer Banks Distillery. I had a flight when I came down here last week. And I think that was probably the best way to experience what you have here to offer. And I was lucky enough that Scott had some 10-year rum.
Absolutely. We recently released that about 3 or 4 months ago. That was a really big hit. Our oldest to date.
That was really good. That sold out, I understand.
It did
immediately.
It didn't take very long.
Yeah. So that was really great. So do that. Come down, say hi, and if you're at least a bit rum curious, like I was, say hello. Right? So thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Kel.
Thank you for coming in.
Hey, cheers, everybody. See you next time.